Even intergalactic freedom fighters need a cigarette break.
Yeah. Aliens prefer to hide things on Earth for some reason.
Straight up, what's going on here?
Based on the crappy B movies you've watched in the past, we think you'll like this one.
Do you know, I watched this though,
Yeah.
it was called, I was like, all right, I'm going to watch Galaxis. And then it came up with the title. It said Terminal Force. I'm like, wait a minute, am I watching the right movie? But it's also called Terminal Force and Galactic Force. So you're in like direct to VHS B movie territory when your movie has multiple names and you get kind of confused.
When they can't figure out what to name it. Well, and that's the thing. You're like, why is this called Galaxis?
Why
Like,
is it called Terminal Force?
who wants to have any of these names?
Yeah, it doesn't really tie in, but it's okay. That
Cheesy B
seems like the
movies from.
cheesy B movies. It just got to have a cool name and doesn't really need to need doesn't really need to explain itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is directed by William Mesa, his directorial debut. He only directed 4 movies, but he's a visual effects supervisor, so that's what he is by trade. He's
Okay.
got a huge credits, but he this is one of the 4 movie he directed. It stars Brigitte Nielsen as the babe who goes and kicks ass, and Richard Moll as the villain.
I know that's the best. You're like Richard Moll with hair and the villain.
I mean, the acting in the whole thing, like everybody's acting is pretty hammy, but he's pretty hammy too, but it kind of works because it's cartoonish and he's got that cartoonish acting style, and this is a very cartoonish movie, so it was fun to see him with hair like killing
Yeah,
people.
and as a evil villain, and they had to pick somebody that's like tall enough to like go face to face with Brigitte Nielsen, right? Like, there's
Yeah,
not a
it's
lot of
because she's
actors.
not
She's
she
not short.
yeah, you can't. Yeah, that's right. And he's a tall guy, but yeah, you have to get someone tall to go toe to toe with her because she's what, 6'2" or something.
Yeah,
She's a tall
girl.
lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the plot follows Brigitte Nelson's character. Again, like, what is her character's name? I forget. I don't know. The characters' names are pretty unimportant. Ladera.
Yeah, yeah, like his name is kind of like Richard Moll
Kyla.
is
It's kind of a
Kyla,
girl's name.
which sounds like a
Kind of a
girl's
girl's
name.
name.
Yeah, and then Brigitte Nielsen is Ladera. So,
Yeah. But Kyla's kind of taken over this colony of freedom fighters. And it reminded me a lot of Masters of the Universe, where Skeletor is coming to take over and get some powerful thing. But there's a reason for that. Do you know back in the day, or when this movie was originally conceived, it was conceived as the She-Ra movie. You know, She-Ra, Princess of Power?
yep, the female version of He-Man.
Which makes sense because if Dolph Lundgren is He-Man, then Brigitte Nielsen should be She-Ra.
I
I
mean, they
mean,
were in
that's
Rocky Four together. I mean, it makes
yeah, and they're
sense.
both these tall, blonde
Yep.
European people that you'd expect to be that, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's what this movie was originally gonna be. But so the bad guy, instead of Kyla, was gonna be Hordak, and he's gonna come try to take over She-Ra's world, and then they go to Earth like they did Masters of the Universe. But that all still happens, but it's not She-Ra.
To
Instead,
get
it's
something that's on Earth that'll like either save the day or end the universe
yeah,
kind of thing. Yeah.
it's always this one device, you
Item.
know. And that's what this whole thing is. But instead of a cool cosmic key that opens portals, it's just a crystal. They just tell you it's powerful, but it
It's a
never
super
shows any
powerful
of its
crystal.
power
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, I think doesn't it do something bad if you touch it? If you're not like the normal humans, because remember, like I think a human
Yeah,
touched.
one of the bad guys tried to touch it and it shocked him, so it's got
Yeah.
a shocking thing.
Yeah. So it does something.
Yeah. So Kyla's coming to Ladera's world to get that magic crystal from these freedom fighters, and Kyla kills Ladera's brother and takes the crystal. But there's another crystal on
With
Earth.
wait, but wait, with a cameo from Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
who gets killed by right within a couple minutes.
Yeah, so it went full blown Terminator. So there's a lot of Terminator
Oh yeah, take
influence,
Masters of the
influence,
Masters of the Universe and Terminator.
and then you have it. Yeah, so this little boy comes and he's just. I was even looking at him like, wow, this is a really bad actor. Like he's really just just not doing anything. But it turns out he's a robot. He goes full blown like stop motion Terminator style, kills everybody. So then Brigitte's like kind of ticked off, but somehow she goes to Earth.
Yeah. But did you notice? Yeah, exactly. Did you notice though? So she enters so like the little boy enters the base, right? And turns in the robot to kill people. And Brigitte Nielsen enters the base. And it's this extremely long period of time in between the boy robot entering the base and Brigitte Nielsen getting to where he's killing everybody. But like she didn't enter the base all that long after he did.
Yeah, so
You
she
know,
must have been like she
she must
must
have
be
been
hearing
chatting with her
impaired or
friends or
something, just
something on her. Yeah,
chilling
on
out,
her
have a
way.
coffee break, you know.
Yeah,
Even
maybe she,
intergalactic freedom fighters need a cigarette break, I
yeah,
guess.
use the toilet or whatever, I guess, before she went to the
Got to
control
drop a
room.
space turd. But yeah, her brother Lord Tarkin, played by Craig Fairbass, he dies and she's pissed. But somehow she ends up again Terminator style. She ends up on Earth somehow.
Yeah, it's not
Only
super
she's
well
fully
explained.
clothed, unlike Arnold, which kind of sucked. But she's got this cool bad space outfit, and she's got a gun on her back. She's ready to kick ass.
Yeah, she's wearing a
So
dominatrix outfit, so there's still that.
yeah, it's pretty nice. So Jed Sanders, played by John H. Brennan, turns out he's some kind of underground archaeologist or something. And he took instead of going through normal academic channels to get grants, he got a loan from a mob boss loan shark to go find the crystal in Peru, the one that's on Earth, because that's where the second one is for some reason. They wanted to put it on Earth, of course, so they
As
don't have to have any other kind of exotic filming locations.
yeah, as movies have often shown us that aliens prefer to hide things on Earth for some reason.
They do because it's cheaper for sets and stuff, probably. That's
Yeah.
why they do it. So Jed Sanders has the crystal and he's showing his buddy the crystal who gets fried later, and that's never really spoken of again. But Victor Menendez, played by Fred Asparagus, which is a funny name.
Like if your actor name is Fred Asparagus, you can't be expecting to get like a list quality films. I
Well,
mean,
he's not an A-list actor
yeah,
either.
yeah.
His
You're
pretty
like Fred
hand his
Asparagus. Sorry, buddy, you're going to be in B list films.
and his acting is hammy enough to for that name too.
It works. Yeah.
So Victor comes and he's wanting his money back. Um, but he doesn't have it. He just has this crystal. But
Yeah.
then somehow the crystal ends up with this Chinese gang. So then he goes and tries to pay poker to get it with some diamonds, which I don't know what that was all about.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess Fred, for some reason, sold it or gave it to the
He gave it
Chinese
to his
person
buddy, the Chinese guy, and I guess they
for some
fried
reason.
him or something. He ended up in the Chinese mob's hands
There you
somehow.
go. Yeah.
A lot of stuff just happens
Yeah.
somehow in this movie.
Yeah. It jumps ahead at various points with little explanation as to how it
Yeah.
got to that point.
You're like, well, the crystal's with the Chinese mob somehow. But instead of trying to like, you have
Okay.
this badass space gun freedom fighter chick, instead of just having her go like kick ass and take it, I'm gonna go play poker for it. But then the victor and the Chinese gang end up fighting. But all the while, Richard Moll is kind of popping up here and there and frying people because he's looking for it too. So everybody's looking for this little crystal. I guess because they tell you it's important. They don't show you that it's important, but they tell you that it is. So you have to believe that.
Yeah. Somehow, if Richard Moll gets a hold of the crystal, the universe ends, or their world ends, or he becomes super powerful, or
He
he
gets
just
straight up Skeletor, dude. Like
yeah, it turns
Skeletor.
yeah, that's it. He turns into
He turns
skeleton
into Skeletor.
or something like that.
So then the cops are involved too. So you have Detective Carter, played by Roger Aaron Brown. He's straight up, what's going on here?
Oh
What's going
yeah,
on in
his
this
dialect.
town?
What? Right here.
What's going on? He's hamming it up with the with that. Like you can tell he's gonna retire in 6 months. All right,
I'm
what
too
the
old for
saying
this
here
shit.
going on here? He's like,
No such thing as aliens. Come on.
I don't know. There's a crazy town up in here. So he's got that going on, and he's got this partnership with the white lady. So they got this going on. So Detective Kelly, played by Cindy Morgan, she was the gal in Tron. Did you recognize her?
Oh, I didn't recognize her. No.
Yeah, she played Laura or Yori in Tron. That's why I was like, oh, I recognize her. Boy, her career's gone downhill since Tron, but
You're like, sorry, Cindy.
but but they got this partnership where she can just kind of go in while he's taking a whistle in the bathroom. Well, I need some privacy here. We need to go find some criminals. So the cops finally get a hold of Brigitte and the new boyfriend, the keeper of the
Yeah.
crystal. But then there's another Terminator moment when Richard Moll. Did you see that? Richard
Oh,
Moll
yeah. That
comes
was
in,
a
he starts
so
wasting
Terminator moment.
cops in the police station, and Brigitte's got to go save the dude. Then they got to escape. That was so Terminator. It's just a ripoff.
And it's like, so she lets herself get taken or something, and then she's just sitting in the jail until Richard Mole shows up, and then she's like, Psh, okay, I'm gonna bust out now. And you're like, what? Why is she even going along with this? And then yeah, oh, you might as well have said I'll be back. I mean, it was literally
Yeah, so Richard Moll gets to play Terminator, wasting all the cops.
yeah,
And
I'm
then what
looking
else?
for Sarah Connor. I mean
I
Ladera.
mean, Jed
I'm looking to
Sanders.
Crystal.
So then where do they go at? Again, you don't really get a lot of.
Oh yeah, they fight there, and then they end up like
There's a car chase after that. So they
yeah.
get into a van in this
Yeah,
car
Brigitte
chase, and then
Nielsen knows how to drive a car, by the way,
yeah,
which is quite impressive. I mean, she sat in the passenger seat, which is like a funny scene. Like, so when she's in the past, when she's driving and Jed and they're after the thing, and she looks over and when he does this thumbs up thing, and it's like, how are you doing? Everything okay?
oh yeah.
It's like that's what I would do in that scenario. Yeah, fine, all good, thumbs up. I'm impressed that you know how to drive a car after sitting in one once in your
Yeah, even though you're an alien.
an alien.
They must have cars on her planet, just
Yeah, I
like the
guess they
ones we
work
have
very
here.
in a similar way.
Then they go to this abandoned gas refinery type place. Looks like the kind of place that's cheap to do filming.
Yeah, they found some abandoned building site that
Terminator 2-esque.
yeah.
Only you don't have anything working. It's just all kind of abandoned. So Victor and his goons are still after them, but so is Richard Moll, the bad guy Kyla. Richard Moll's after them, but Richard Moll starts wasting the goons with the cheap animation effects that he has.
Yeah.
Yeah, the effects are probably pretty bad even then. And this is
This is
directed by a special
mid-90s
effects.
by a
I
special
know
effects guy. Yeah.
the
Like
guy
you're like, these
who
special
has a
effects
lot
look
of
like
good
they were done
special
for
effects.
yeah. And I'm like, these special effects look like they were done in the mid 70s for a B movie, not mid 90s for a B movie.
They make the mid-90s look bad. Like if younger people watch, oh, wow, you had some cheesy effects
Oh
in
man,
the
that's bad
mid-90s.
stuff.
No, that
Yeah.
was cheesy then too. That was bad then. So then I guess he's wasting all the goons, and then one of the helicopters crash. So she gets in her boss fight with Richard Moll,
Yeah.
and they're really kind of just fighting.
Yeah, he's not using any of his like superpowers on her.
But he just wasted goons just with like bad animated laser beams or whatever. But
Yeah.
when it comes to her,
Nothing.
he's just not. I guess he's incapable of using that. But then he takes down a whole helicopter and it crashes and explodes. But he can't do that with her, I guess.
And of course, yeah, yeah. I love like the goons, the gangsters. They're like so like parodied, one-dimensional goons and gangster types.
Okay, boss.
Come on, what do you? Well, man,
Oh, come on, boss.
I don't want to go
Not
upstairs. Go get him. Listen to me, damn it. I'm the boss.
Ah, the boss always making me do stuff.
I
Ah,
do this.
man. So he Richard Moll just kind of he gets zapped or something, and I don't know if the crystal did it or if
Yeah,
she did it.
did she? Oh, it's it's funny because I just
Because then we're giving spoilers away because there's nothing to this.
no. I
She
mean, if
ends
you've seen
up like he a bad
Terminator
guy
or
quotes,
Masters of the
whatever.
Universe, you
Yeah,
kind
if
of
you've
have an
seen, you
idea.
kind of know what's going on. But then she gives Jed the crystal and says, "You're the keeper of the crystal."
Yeah, you keep the crystal, and he's
And
like,
I'd
"Wait a
be
minute,
like, "Shit, no, take this
yeah,
off my planet, dude."
bad people are gonna come wanting this thing, and
After
they're
all
gonna come
that, I'd really like to not be the keeper of this thing.
be
I
like,
know
you
you're
came to
Brigitte
this,
Nielsen, you're a beautiful girl, but please take this off my planet and
it's like
never come back
you just came to this
because Richard
planet,
Moll is
fought
scary.
all these people, and yeah, exactly, made this big production out of getting this crystal, and now it's like, nah, you keep it. Like, no, I don't want it.
It's a hot potato, man.
Yeah.
Please.
Oh, bad people will come wanting this crystal. This is the
Yeah.
setup for the sequel, and I don't want to be that person.
And
The
I
sequel
think
that
they
never
did
happened.
have a sequel or a
Hmm,
prequel or something.
really?
Maybe it was a prequel. I didn't look too much into it, but they had something going on.
Oh, okay.
But then, of course, Victor, Fred Asparagus, he pops up at the end. But Detective Carter, don't worry, he got a handle. Yeah.
I'm still here. I'm not dead yet.
Oh, my suit. My wife's gonna be so pissed off. Even though I got shot, got blood on my suit, scratched my car, my wife. I'm retiring in 6 months.
I'm gonna get myself a
Probably my
fishing boat.
favorite.
I'm gonna hang
My
out on my
favorite
fishing boat, fish. No got time for this.
So if you can't tell, Detective Carter is probably my favorite character in this whole thing, played by Roger Aaron Brown.
I think because he must have had just the most fun with it, with his character. Like, well, I don't know. Richard Moll must have had a lot of fun
Richard
with his
Moll probably had
character,
fun with it too, and
actually.
he cheesed it up. You could tell
Yeah.
he wasn't even like holding
Oh
back on the
no.
cheese.
Yeah.
But Roger Aaron Brown had fun with this.
Hmm.
What's going on?
Oh,
This
you want
town
me?
going to hell.
Oh, okay. You want
I've
me to
been
play the
detective
detective? That's what I'm gonna do.
30 years. I haven't seen anything like this shit.
I've seen everything, but I've never seen this.
And don't you scratch my car. It's a brand new car. My wife's gonna kill me. I love Roger Aaron Bell, probably my favorite character in this. Um, yeah, that's an interesting. It's an interesting movie. Where did you find this? Because we were looking for something to watch.
I don't. Yeah, this is sad because I was looking for I don't know if we should because the other film that we wanted to watch,
We're
and
still
somehow
We're still
still
trying to
trying to
track
track
that
it
down.
down. Yeah, if we can actually find a copy of it. And it was just on it was on I think the Roku channel or something like that. Like,
Yeah, it's easy to get. It's
yeah,
free everywhere.
yeah, you can find it anywhere. And it kind of popped up in my recommended. So I think it's one of those based on the crappy B movies you've watched in the past. We think you'll like this one, which is, I think, how I came about it. I think it was just in my like recommended movie section.
Yeah, it was worth a watch. I mean, it's basically kind of like low budget She-Ra meets the
Yeah.
Terminator.
Yeah. Meets Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, that's the thing. So ratings wise, here I can't decide, is this so bad it's good or is it so bad?
Yeah, I have the similar situation, but I'm gonna have to go thumbs down.
Yeah.
This is one that I still kind of enjoyed. It's still one that I want to like, and it's got a lot of good cheesy awesomeness going for it. Don't get me wrong, but when it comes right down to it, it's like, well, you're chasing this crystal, and that's it, and you have a lot going on that just happens. Like even the detectives. So Detective Carter and his partner Tron Girl, they just know shit sometimes. They just know things. Like she gets off a call and she's like, "Okay, here's the skinny on the street. There's this guy named Kyla. He's looking for a space gal named Ladera. They're searching for a crystal, and she's got the whole story from like some perps on the street or somewhere. How do you know all that? So they don't really explain why they know things or why they do things. I never know why the crystal is that important. I never really feel it. It's not like the cool cosmic key in Masters of the Universe where it's all cool and makes space portals and you kind of know, yeah, it's kind of badass. That's a good tool. And a little crystal, and everybody's after this little crystal, and that's it. So I don't buy most of it. And I love Brigitte Nielsen because she's kind of this big, awesome action star girl. I love Richard Moll because he's just so cartoonish. And I loved Roger Aaron Brown in this. But overall, it's like it's lame.
It's a terrible script. Yeah. That's it. And the way they jump around. And it's funny because like it has a lot of potential. I'm with you. I I'm going God, it was so tough because I really wanted
It's
to give it a
tough.
thumbs up. And I think maybe like if I had a couple drinks or if I was watching it with the right people, but the fact that I was at home by myself and just happened to come across it and was like, oh, this looks like something that would be good for Overlooked because it's got Brigitte Nielsen and Richard Moll. So I'm with you. I'm gonna go thumbs down, but I'm gonna go soft thumbs down. And I'm gonna say to people watching, check it out. Just make sure you're in the right location, mood, you know, alcohol consumption. If you're a pot
Whatever you
smoker, maybe
partake
smoke a
in,
little. Exactly, if
whatever you
that's your thing.
partake in, partake before you watch this movie,
Yeah.
and you'll probably give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
We were both alone and sober.
Yeah, I think that's the problem.
So that's
Because you're like,
that might have tipped it over the edge if like we were watching it with friends and we had a bottle of Cabernet or something. Oh, fucking
yeah,
hey, it's good.
yeah. I think that's what would have put me in a thumbs up category. But since I was none of those things, watching it by myself, I'm like, yeah. And it's close though. I could
That's
see
close.
going thumbs up on it.
Yeah, there's a
But
lot going for it, and even though we're giving it the thumbs down, I think it's still worth a watch if you like the
absolutely,
cheesy '90s B movies. It's don't let our thumbs down make you not watch it. You should still watch it,
yeah, it's
and
still
you
worth
should watch
watching.
it with some substance,
Yeah, yeah, it's totally still worth watching.
something that you
Though it's
can
a thumbs
drink
down
or
watch.
smoke,
Yeah,
and maybe
yeah,
some friends, and
yeah,
maybe it'll be better.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's definitely one of those films when if somebody watching they're like, "Hey, I like that," I'd be like, "Okay, I can accept that."
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's
totally.
not like Cool as Ice, where you're like, "I like Cool
No,
as Ice,"
if
and
so,
they're
yeah,
like,
I
well,
liked
then
it.
there's something
No,
wrong
there's
with you.
something wrong with.
You know, this they'd be like, "I liked it." I'm like, "Okay, I can accept that. I can
Yep,
accept that."
yep. Check it out.
Check it out. It's easy to find. Probably,
Yeah, it is. It's one of those
I
Film Rise, like this company Film Rise just acquires like movies nobody else wants and they kind of put them everywhere. It's one of those
yeah,
Film Rise things. So,
get a little money
hey, if
for
you're
them.
looking for something free, it's
It's out
free
there.
and it's available.